Episode 9 just came out, and now that everyone has seen this masterpiece, I can finally talk about it. Today we're going over this episode and everything you might have missed. I made a similar video before, but this one is way more packed with details. Let's start. The episode picks up right after the last one, and Jax is pissed at Kinger for deleting Kane. And what's sad about everything that happens in this episode is that it all went down because they thought Kane was dead, and that they had no way out when he was alive the whole time. Right off the bat, we learn that the Soma theory was real. Kinger found it by going through the files on the PC. It's the theory that everyone in the circus is a digital copy of the real humans who put the headset on. Kane found those copies one day sitting in a folder and decided to do something with them instead of leaving them there to rot. So he brought them into the digital circus. He was actually trying to help them and save them, but the way he went about it was wrong. But that's a debate way too complicated for this video. So yeah, the characters are copies. Ragatha kind of already knew, but didn't want to accept it. And Jax realizes his life is still garbage, even outside the circus. The cast splits up, and Pomni decides to try to find a way to get the PC back from the void with Kinger. They try to build shapes to reach it, and Pomni starts crying because she feels useless. Kinger tells her that's not true, and that nobody in the circus adjusted as well as she did, and that she's very strong, which is the same thing he told her back in episode 3. Then a song plays called Too Much For You, and the lyrics match perfectly what Jax was feeling at that exact moment.
I don't know what the trouble's been, but it's too much to get over you. You're too much to get over.
He walks toward Pomni and pulls back at the last second. Pomni says, "I wish I'd pried a little more. I somehow forgot how bad it can get." And the scene cuts, and we see Jax abstracted. Now, a lot of people thought this was way too sudden and poorly set up, and I get it. But I think that's exactly what Gooseworks wanted. Jax is a pathetic loser in her own words, and he deserved to abstract alone in his corner the same way he lived. It probably happened like in episode 7, where he went to his bed and just accepted the abstraction after being completely done with everything. Kinger said it in episode 3. The worst thing you can do to someone is make them feel useless. Ribbit felt useless, Jax felt useless. That's what they had in common, and that's what triggers abstraction. On top of that, some people say Pomni wasn't being true to her character by not going to Jax sooner. But her abstraction being so sudden is the point. It's supposed to shock you. It's supposed to make you appreciate the people around you, because they can be gone at any moment. Sorry for the sad mood. After that, there's a beautiful scene between Ragatha and Pomni where Pomni tells her she's her best friend and her first real friend. Right after that, Pomni goes into the hallway where Jax is with a gun, and it's a callback to episode 6. Jax taught Pomni how to use a gun, and now she's using it to try to save him. She shoots out the lights and enters the abstraction. There are doors that lead to Jax's thoughts. The first thing she runs into is Jax, who just strangles her. It's a reference to Evangelion, when Shinji strangles Asuka. But it's probably also because Jax hates people digging into his personal stuff. He felt ashamed and wanted to scare Pomni away. Then Pomni opens some doors that lead to scenes. These are scenarios that Jax made up to cope with the idea of losing the other cast members. The first one is about Zubul dying. Jax puts on a maid outfit and flirts with Gangle, who has her comedy mask on. The second door is for Gangle's death, where Zubul gets mad at him and he turns it into an old cartoon to make it funny, so it hurts less. The sealed door that Pomni can't open might be her own. Jax couldn't find a way to cope with losing Pomni, so the door stayed shut. Then Pomni enters a room with 4 versions of Jax. Pomni threatens them and grabs the key. She opens the door and finds herself in front of Jax. And then we get a ton of flashbacks, and this is where it gets really interesting. We see Jax running away from home, and we kind of expected that before the episode came out, because whenever Ragatha mentioned family, he would go weirdly quiet. So he runs and probably stumbles on an abandoned building with a VR headset, puts it on, and ends up in the circus. He completely panics, but slowly becomes friends with 2 characters, Ribbit and Kaufmo. Also, in Ribbit's room, you can see the same objects that float around Pomni at the beginning of the series. Jax opens up too much and regrets it. He tells Ribbit that his dad left them, and it messed up the relationship with his mom. And here we get to something really important. I know a lot of people disagree on this, and personally, I'm not even going to say if I believe it or not. But there's been a theory that Jax might be trans femme in real life, and with what he says in this scene, it starts to make more and more sense. I'll show you the scene, and if you watch it with that theory in mind, everything he says makes sense.
I told her something I regret telling her. Something deep and personal that I thought would get her off my back. But she laughed at me. Then she went off on me, and it didn't stop. Personal, degrading insults that felt like it went on forever.
Since Jax is confirmed to be Gooseworks' self-insert in the show, some people started saying that Jax represents what Gooseworks' life could have looked like if she had never transitioned. That's the theory. So after his mom laughed at what he told her, Jax panicked and pushed her. She fell and didn't get up. He ran away, not knowing if she was just messing with him or if he actually hurt her badly. Ribbit reassures him. They get closer, but then Jax realizes he opened up too much and starts to panic. He begins ignoring Ribbit more and more until the snowy summit where they have a huge fight, and shortly after, Ribbit abstracts. From that day on, Jax starts becoming the Jax we know. He closes off from everyone until Kaufmo abstracts too, and Pomni arrives in the circus. That moment where Jax is running and looks completely out of breath, that wasn't because he was tired. He had just been crying while looking at himself in the mirror. Right after that, Jax and Pomni meet up, and it's extremely sad. He regrets everything. He knows he's been nothing but a screw-up, and he thinks Pomni came to show him the consequences of his actions. Then he realizes how ridiculous that thought is and hugs her. And then we get what might be the best scene in the entire series. Here's the full scene. Now about the song choice. Isn't She Lovely by Stevie Wonder. That song is about the birth of a baby girl. It plays over a montage of Jax's moments, and you have to ask yourself why Gooseworks picked that specific song. If you believe the trans femme theory, then she is Jax, and the song is about a girl being born for the first time. If you don't, then she is probably Pomni, for being there for him when nobody else was. Zubul grabs Pomni just in time before she abstracts with Jax, and the whole cast sits together on the couches. Then we see Kane, who is not dead. Some people saw it coming. He just got sent to the void. He realizes what he's done and decides to separate himself from the blue AI, which had the God complex. The blue AI was the one with the God complex, not the red one, like everyone thought. Then Kane sees an exit door and runs toward it. He runs up to the door and accesses Wi-Fi for the first time in his life. He learns about the cast's lives and discovers their world that he could never understand before. There's also the scene where he spawns Scratch into the circus. It's a flashback to when Kane was first building the circus, which is why he's red and doesn't have a form yet. He had found obsolete files and made them appear in the circus. The first one being Mike Dobby Scratch. And Dobby Dog was a reference to his real name this whole time. He learns about the cast and loses Wi-Fi access right after. He goes back to the circus and realizes the moon told him she loves him without him ever programming her to say that. He deglitches Pomni and shows himself to the cast. He explains everything, that he regrets what he did and that he's going to give them control of the circus. And this scene also shows us how the circus got its colors back. If you look closely in the background, you can see that the cast created colored shapes to rebuild the circus using their own powers. You can tell because there are gray shapes filling in the gaps where they haven't finished yet. They join Kane and he shows them the real-world lives of their outside selves. Pomni is Abigail Brooks, still an accountant, but more open now. She goes out with friends and still posts Urbex videos. Ragatha is Susie J. Ackerman. She left her hometown and cut off her mom. She's made real friends and she seems happy. Gangle is Zoe Raghavan. She's recovering from injuries in the hospital. She quit fast food and started posting her webcomic online. Zubul is Riley Vercellus. They opened their own bar called the Triangle Bar. It's described as a spot where people can feel like themselves, free of judgment. Kinger is Grant Best, still working in tech and married to Destiny Best, which is Queenie. And Jax is Leroy Mateo. He got a stable job and is no longer homeless. He hangs out with friends, and weirdly enough, a spot they go to a lot is Riley's bar. The Instagram accounts you see on screen are real, by the way. I'd recommend checking them out. Some of them actually have real content on them. But there are also a lot of fake. They go on to build their perfect circus the way they want it, without anyone dictating anything. They paint murals of their abstracted friends who are in a dark aquarium, just swimming around peacefully. They play games, Kane is with them, and everything seems to be getting better for them mentally. And the moral of the series is finally complete. There is meaning in a stagnant life.